This also goes for every Trinbagonian who born to live in a foreign land. Now is the time to come home and do something instead of staying out there and freezing. Because now, more than ever, we must show.
Yes, now more than ever, we must show that we are indeed Grenadians who want to see this place we call home develop, transform, enhanced, so that our children and children can inherit something better, can live in conditions that are befitting of, human settlement. For us to see our children grow up better than we, who experience a little hardship, who experience some toughness. We want it to be a little easier and better for our children and the children. So we have a duty. We have our job cut out for us. I want to welcome you to the hub. Again, we have a unique opportunity to talk using social media and the radio. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. So I want to start off with our beloved Prime Minister. He is in Guyana, and boy, oh boy, so many people are extra impressed with his leadership, with his leadership style, with his depth of knowledge, his intelligence, his camaraderie among the leaders within the Caribbean, the love they have for him, the respect they have for him. It's just wonderful. That is what Grenada was lacking for so many years. You know that CARICOM is meeting with the Prime Minister of India, and it was the opening of that summit. Today, it was just beautiful. I think that's the right word here, beautiful. And our leader led from the front. And we must all feel proud, feel happy about that. So I want to start off with that tonight.
Caribbean community, CARICOM, it is indeed with immense honor and privilege that I welcome you all to the second CARICOM India Summit, the first of which was held in September of 2019. Today, we gather as partners and friends, united by a shared vision of progress, cooperation, and mutual respect. And I will say it, a love for country. The Caribbean community attaches tremendous value to the shared history, common values, kinship, and strong bonds of friendship that we have enjoyed in the government and people of the world, which have strongly influenced and enriched the diverse and vibrant culture of the Caribbean community. This historic summit is taking place against the backdrop of rapid developments regionally, hemispherically, and globally. The multifaceted and protracted crisis in Haiti, the existential threat we face from climate change, the post-COVID-19 economic recovery challenges, conflicts in the Middle East, and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war have all contributed to high inflation, global unemployment, and have contributed to some measure of despair and uncertainty and anxiety amongst our peoples. These circumstances have sapped resources, hardened hearts, and shifted the attention of the international community from the multifaceted challenges facing developing countries. This somewhat gloomy international landscape has further exacerbated the already uncertain outlook of small and extremely vulnerable island and neighboring states within the Caribbean community. However, against this somber backdrop, we remain convinced more than ever that closer linkages between CARICOM and our trusted partner India are part of the very necessary medication and intervention needed by the Caribbean community to better equip it and its citizens to overcome our existing developmental challenges. I therefore extend a special acknowledgement to Prime Minister Modi, whose visionary leadership has been instrumental in strengthening the ties between India and CARICOM. Prime Minister Modi's commitment to fostering international partnerships and his dedication to sustainable development
society that we plan
set a remarkable example for us all. His leadership has not only propelled India to new heights, but it has also opened new avenues for collaboration with our region. As both Prime Minister of CARICOM and as Prime Minister of Grenada, I express on behalf of all of CARICOM's citizens our deep gratitude to Prime Minister Modi and the government and great people of India for India's proactive and influential role in championing the ideals and aspirations of the Global South. We commend India's unwavering commitment to sustainable development of our region, especially in this intricate and interconnected era of globalization. It is evident to us that the challenges we face can only be effectively addressed through a spirit of deeper integration and cooperation and cooperative action amongst nations. We are particularly appreciative of India's enhanced engagement in recent years, as it demonstrates a genuine eagerness to fortify our bilateral ties and collaboratively confront pressing issues such as the pervasive digital divide. As Prime Minister Modi once said, and I quote, "Good governance with good intentions is the hallmark of our government. Implementation with integrity is our co-passion," unquote. These words resonate deeply with our shared commitment to building a future grounded in trust, transparency, and mutual benefit. Since our inaugural summit, the bonds between CARICOM and India have grown stronger, reflecting our mutual commitment to a partnership built on trust, shared values, and common goals. Our collaboration spans various sectors, including trade, technology, healthcare, education, and climate resilience, each contributing to the sustainable development and prosperity of our regions. This summit presents an important and timely opportunity for us as leaders to engage in frank and meaningful discussions that will redound to our mutual benefit. So as we do so, we are pleased to note that India continues to maintain its position as the fastest growing major economy among emerging markets and developing countries. Furthermore, India's expertise in such key areas as agriculture, energy, health, human resource development, and information and communications technology is well known. CARICOM also remains highly grateful to India for the vaccines donated to CARICOM member states at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. It demonstrated that at the time of its own great need, it cared enough about its brothers and sisters within CARICOM. So looking forward, we envision a future where CARICOM-India relations continue to flourish and expand. Closer cooperation and collaboration amongst the leaders of CARICOM member states and India would serve to further enhance the partnerships and contribute to successfully strengthening our existing economic, commercial, and people-to-people relations. Allow me therefore to warmly welcome Prime Minister Modi, Diana, and Ireland. Thank you.
Right. So I feel like playing the song. That is why you're hearing it in the background.
The question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want a society that we plan, that we set goals and work towards achieving them? Or do we want a society where we get up and say, whatever happens, happens? That is ultimately the test that we must pass. A society does not improve by chance. We don't become wealthy by chance.
We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibes. The best picture and we like it. Deacon Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibes. The best Mitchell and we like it. Deacon Mitchell won't tell you no lies. Oh gosh, Deacon intelligent, wow, he's so magnificent. Oh gosh, the people he represent, yes, and he will not relent. Oh gosh, the country have at heart, not an opinion, that is a fact. With Deacon the future real bright. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. We vote in the heart, the heart, the heart, the heart. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. All right. Stick it right by the heart. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibes. The best picture and we like it. Deacon Mitchell won't tell you no lie. We have the best picture and we like it. Young, intelligent, full of vibes. The best picture and we like it.
Yes, we have the best Mitchell and we like it. So that was the election song, right? And that was hot around the election time. And it's still relevant. It is very relevant because it's just a stark contrast between what used to exist with Keith Mitchell when he went out there regionally or internationally, and what we are experiencing now with the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. The style of leadership, his calmness, his intelligence, his eloquence, the way world leaders gravitate towards him, embrace him, how they speak highly about him. Modi spoke very highly about our leader. And, people can red flag talent and intelligence and visionary leaders and leaders with a plan, well researched, who understands things and who is not aggressive, who is not, pompous. You see, people are coming towards him. Regional leaders are looking towards him for leadership at this point in time. He's young, vibrant, intelligent. We have to really feel proud as a nation. Young people out there, you're in your teens, you're in your early 20s or early 30s or early 40s, you should be proud of the fact that we have a young prime minister who is representing Grenada with distinction, who is representing Grenada with class and intelligence, but he's also humble, he's also meek, he's also mild. Right? He's surgical in his approach when it comes to leadership. He's not pompous. He's not arrogant. As one would say, he's not push-up. He represents with distinction. And that is something that you need to remember. And we all must feel proud of our beloved Prime Minister. I am proud, and I know you are too. And that is where the jealousy comes in. Because Keith Mitchell, for example, and the others, they're sitting home and they're watching that. They didn't get that kind of love, that kind of embrace, that kind of camaraderie, that kind of anything, regionally or internationally. They never got that, right? In fact, I believe Keith Mitchell was more hated by regional leaders than anything else. That's my belief. I'm saying to you, you just have to just follow what is happening regionally and internationally. When our beloved Prime Minister goes out there, everybody wants a bit of him, a piece of him, right? That is what we are seeing, and we all should be proud of that. But let's continue. Let's continue to highlight a number of things. You know, the seed payment, some people thought it was today, but with the heavy rainfall, that was pushed back to tomorrow. God's willing, they would start paying out that tomorrow.
And flooding forced the temporary closure of the Office of the Ministry of Social Development and Gender Affairs. The ministry has informed that seed payment scheduled for Wednesday, November 20th has been postponed to Thursday, November 21st, subject to improved weather conditions. Payments for recipients in St. George's will take place on the first floor of the ministerial complex in the area that was previously utilized as a cafeteria. Upon arrival, recipients will be directed by designated staff. Payment for recipients in St. Andrew will take place at the Revenue Office also on Thursday. Recipients in St. Patrick and St. David will receive their payments at their respective revenue offices on Friday, November 22nd, while those in St. Mark and St. John will receive their payments at their revenue offices on Monday, November 25th.
Right. So again, that there, good information, and I hope folks are taking note of it. So tomorrow they will start the seed payments. A lot of people look forward to that every month. We have a cleanup drive this weekend.
Implementation and Transformation is launching a national cleanup campaign this weekend to address the significant impact of the ongoing heavy rainfall across Grenada. This initiative calls on all Grenadians to unite in the effort to ensure the safety, cleanliness, and proper functioning of communities. The focus of the campaign is on clearing drains and pathways of debris to reduce the risk of flooding. Minister Honorable Andy Williams encourages all citizens, organizations, and community groups to actively participate in cleaning and maintaining their surroundings. The cleanup is being held in collaboration with NADMA, Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, and the Ministry of Infrastructure.
This weekend, we will be having a national cleanup. And again, if you are interested and you want to assist in your community, you can call the number 449-6183 and WhatsApp 417-7091. And what we can do, we will, this initiative is being done in collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructure, Solid Waste Grenada, NADMA, and by calling, we will contact you and see what we can do to help in the efforts with regards to the cleanup. So we encourage everyone to come out because we are still in the rainy season, and the idea is to try to unblock some of the drains, etc., and to get rid of some of the garbage that may block against some of our water flow that we are experiencing now. And if we do so, we can better equip ourselves for more rains that we forecast to come. So this is an effort where we would like everyone to come forward and assist in whatever way that they can. We are in this together, and together, again, we will see what we can do as a people to deal with this situation that we are faced with, again, by Mother Nature.
Minister Williams said in collaboration with the Ministry of Infrastructure and Physical Development, his ministry is also coordinating efforts to address landslides. Temporary hotlines have been created for citizens to report landslides that require urgent equipment assistance.
The Ministry of MIT would have heard and seen the amount of slides, fallen trees, block drains, etc. And we have set up a mechanism for the public to report and to give information on the above. Hence, in the event you want to report any of the slides, fallen trees, block drains, block rivers, etc., you can do so by calling the telephone number 449-6183. Again, 449-6183. 6183, or you can WhatsApp 417-7091. You can WhatsApp 417-7091. And that is to report, again, any slides, fallen trees, block drains, etc., so that we can try our best to assist where possible.
Right. So again, that's the Honorable Andy Williams, and he is the acting Prime Minister as we speak. He's always on the ball, and it's a good opportunity for the opposition and those who always talk to join in to clean up communities, to join in to make this place better. They're all about on TV and on radio talking. They're good at talking. But when it comes to actual work, when it comes to doing something to make a difference, a positive difference in our communities, in our country, they're not interested in that. I can bet you on that day of the cleanup, they will be somewhere either in their home or somewhere locked, not even involved in anything. And then after the cleanup, they would come out and condemn, they would come out and criticize, they would come out and say all manner of things about it. That's how they operate. I played for you only recently a piece from opposition pundit, always calling on that morning program, right? On the Plead Your Cause program, always calling. And the Honorable Claudette Joseph and her team, they went in the River Road area and they did some voluntary work, clean up the River Road area. And the day after, this is what the guy had to say.
Not like what they are saying. Shaggy, they're talking about volunteers. They say that, look, the weather has come and mud and all kind of garbage and things has taken over, especially River Road. And they hearing a tone out there, Shaggy, that they should come out and volunteer and clean up the place. You know, I try to convince a lot of them that, volunteer is a good thing. But the chatters on the street, Shaggy, continue to say it. Yes, this is Christmas. We need money to buy, clothes, new shoes, little dandans for we women and we children, and to buy a little ham and all that kind of thing. And they said, when the government come like that, in a time like that, asking for volunteers, they are asking for volunteers in the wrong time. They said, how could you ask us for volunteers in a time like this?
Right, so that's opposition force pundit. I mean, he's always calling and talk about NNP this and NNP that and so on. He's always out there. And this is what they have to say. It's amazing. This is what they have to say, the opposition forces in the country. So no matter what you do, you could volunteer, you could clean up, you could reach out to build your community, to better your community. They would have negative things to say no matter what you do. So we just have to go out there and help in any way that we can to clean and better our communities and improve our communities. All right? So that's what you would get from the opposition forces in the country. They would always be like that.
The United Nations Climate Summit in Azerbaijan are frantically trying to strike a deal that would provide as much as $1 trillion per year for developing countries to help them withstand the impact of climate change. No country is watching the talks more closely than Grenada in the Eastern Caribbean. In July, Hurricane Beryl, energized by warmer waters, caused catastrophic damage to Grenada's islands of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Special correspondent Laura Trevelyan reports now from Carriacou on the recovery effort and the preparations for whatever the future holds.
This is the trail of destruction Hurricane Beryl left across Carriacou. The Category 4 storm made landfall on July the 1st with winds of more than 150 miles per hour, damaging 98% of the island's homes. The storm caught many in Carriacou unawares as it strengthened so rapidly. This is what's left of the historic Roman Catholic Church. The parish priest is Father Andrew Barnard.
It's heartbreaking, really, to see the destruction, total destruction.
Father Andrew took refuge in the sacristy of the church as the storm raged.
After the storm calmed down, I came out and went into the community to encourage persons who were on the streets, devastated, shocked, bewildered.
It's interesting to see that Christ and Mary and Joseph survived the storm.
Yes, all these had remained intact, and I immediately signed myself.
Do you think it's a symbol? Oh, I'm so sorry, Father. Is it symbolic?
It's very symbolic. It is symbolic because it tells us that He's watching over us.
The hurricane killed 3 people here on the day it struck. That death toll rose in the storm's aftermath. Carrickoo's minister, Tevin Andrews, told me why.
Roads were blocked because of the telephone posts in the road and the trees and debris and other things like that. They couldn't get to the hospital. Yeah, I lost close friends. I lost close friends as a result of this.
People on this close-knit island with a population of less than 10,000 are mourning those they lost while trying to recover. It's the rainy season, making life arduous for Patricia McNeil, who lives upstairs and owns a pharmacy on the ground floor.
Because whenever the rain falls, this area where we're standing the water is like this high. So it seeps through the ceiling. So I have to put down buckets and move the shelves around so that the goods don't get wet. So it's been like that ever since. Sweep, mop, put down buckets, as long as the rain comes.
Would you consider leaving Carrickoo?
No. To go where? That's my home. I don't have anywhere to go.
Samantha feels just the same way. Even though this mother of 8 now struggles to find diapers and wipes for her baby Zaydel, Carrickoo is home.
What happened to your house?
Everything gone.
Everything?
Everything done, gone.
The roof?
Everything. This wasn't my house. This is something I built back.
What is life like now?
Well, life is not really tough for me.
Water's in short supply for Samantha and so many others. People used to catch rainwater on their roofs and store it. You can't do that if your roof has blown off. And for the fishermen who make their living from the water, the hurricane was catastrophic.
Fishing isn't just part of the historical tradition of Carrickoo. Fishermen are a key part of this community. So when Hurricane Beryl blew through and destroyed the fishermen's boats, it struck at the very heart of this island.
In the village of Windward, I meet Alwyn Bethel, who's been fishing these waters for more than 50 years.
Can you just tell me about the damage that Hurricane Beryl did to the fishermen's boats?
Plenty damage, plenty. A lot of damage.
Like what kind of thing? Boats smashed up?
Yeah, boats smashed up. They lost the boat, they lost the line, they lost everything. They lost their livelihoods. So they'll go back and start all over again.
That's got to be so hard.
Yeah, real hard.
Hurricane Beryl destroyed industries old and new. Just look at Carrickoo's solar panels, which were a source of great pride for Grenada's government.
We saw your solar panels here, and we saw that they have been destroyed.
Yes. Millions of dollars were spent in getting this solar panel going because we wanted to be the first island, small island, in the Caribbean to be 100% reliant on renewable energy. That was our aim, our goal, and still is our aim, our goal, and our mission. We are playing our part. We are doing what we're supposed to do. We want the bigger countries to also play their part and do what they're supposed to do.
A sentiment echoed by students at the newly reopened Hillsborough Secondary School. These high schoolers want the industrialised countries to reduce their polluting emissions.
It is not fair that they are doing the polluting and we are facing the consequences. So there need to be a stop to this immediately.
As a small developing nation, we are suffering, we are not equipped with the resources to combat these forces of pollution.
I would say I myself am still suffering from trauma because anytime the rain falls against the tarpaulin, it's like bullets, and you always have to wonder, okay, is this burial coming back again? So you live with some sense of trauma, I would say.
So much needs to be repaired. Grenada's government had hurricane insurance. That's paying for some of the massive rebuilding effort. And the country's debt repayments are on hold, thanks to a special hurricane clause. But this tiny economy can't withstand many more storms.
This little piece of heaven, this united community spirit people, our existence are threatened because of the actions and inactions of our world leaders.
What's the single most important thing that would help you, that the developed world could do?
Put their money where their mouth is. Less talk, more action. Stop talking, more action. Put the money where it's supposed to go. And keep to your commitments. Stick to your commitments.
Carriacou isn't counting on outside help, though. The islanders are trying to build back better, so future generations can survive whatever lies ahead. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Laura Trevelyan in Carriacou.
That's a really good piece there by Laura Trevelyan. And you know, she is also instrumental in the whole reparation movement because her family had some connection with Grenada and other islands, I think. So she's doing a fantastic job. So, I think a formal apology came from her on behalf of her family and so on. That's a really good piece, bringing it to the world, what we are faced with due to the effects of climate change. And what I love, all the people interviewed represented well. You could say what you want about Samantha. She represented well. She spoke well. And the young, the students there, they did well. And our minister, the Honorable Tevin Andrews, you did well, sir, and Mr. Bettel, and Father Bernard, and all the people interviewed there. You did well. I love that, because this documentary is being showed around the world. PBX, PBX, I think? PBS, I think. All right? It's a really good documentary. And I want to commend those who were interviewed, and your presentation was well put. And again, you experience it. So it's easy for you to talk about it in such a way. And I love that. Proper English, you spoke well, well composed. That's the way to go. All right? Kudos, thumbs up to you, thumbs up to you. We had serious flooding.
Do all in its power to ensure it has enough fiscal space to respond in the event of disasters. That commitment from Prime Minister and Minister for Disaster Management, Honorable Deacon Mitchell. Following preliminary assessments, Prime Minister Mitchell explained that millions will have to be expended toward constructing bridges, roads, homes, and river and sea defenses. During a press conference on Tuesday, he said government will seek Cabinet's approval to obtain further financial assistance to respond to the damage caused by heavy rainfall over the last 10 days and to adequately prepare for predicted weather conditions. Since the passage of Hurricane Beryl on July 1st, the government has given millions in financial assistance to farmers and Grenadians affected by the hurricane.
The government obviously is clearly aware of the significant cost, damage and inconvenience that this has caused and will continue to cause. And in addition to the ongoing cleanup efforts being undertaken by the Ministry of Infrastructure and the various contractors and cleaning crews and road officers, as well as the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, we are also going to have to provide things like housing assistance, clothing, food to families that have been impacted by the flooding. We are going to have to provide assistance in helping people to clean up their homes and so on. And in some instances, we are going to have to, in fact, rebuild or build or move persons out of the areas in which they are living because of the risk that have now developed from some of the landslides. There are some places, for example, like Voley in St. David, where the landslide is significant, and the homes which are close by run the risk of any further significant water damage of some of these homes being compromised. This will run the government and the people of Grenada, the taxpayers of Grenada, into millions of dollars. And so I want to emphasize that many criticize the government for being prudent by suspending and invoking the debt repayment clause so that we could have the necessary liquidity to deal with those situations. In fact, I was criticized by what I was told were eminent economists. I made the point of saying we could not predict the future. We are still very much in hurricane season, and in addition to that, our weather pattern becomes more and more erratic every year because of the impacts of climate change. And so, as a government, we will do everything to ensure that we have the fiscal space to be able to respond to the various challenges that we face. This is coming at enormous financial consequences to the taxpayers of this country. We are going to have to spend enormous sums of money fixing the roads, addressing the bridges, doing both river and sea defenses. And therefore, we have to appreciate that when we talk about climate change, when we talk about the fact that we are a living lab on the front line of climate change, in the last 11 months, this is exactly living proof of this.
Prime Minister Mitchell said more assistance is on the way for farmers and homeowners affected by the heavy rainfall. The final details will be announced soon.
We have to build our resilience, we have to become more adaptable, and we have to stop engaging in some of the practices that are exacerbating and contributing to the challenge we face. Development cannot come at any cost, and many of us are building in areas where we simply should not be building, where it is very risky to ourselves, our families, and in the end, when the landslides come or when the flooding comes, it is still the taxpayers who have to provide assistance to you. Through the Ministry of Economic Development and Finance, as well as Social Housing and Community Development, we will be seeking Cabinet's approval to provide further financial assistance, for example, to our farmers who've been severely impacted by the flooding, to households that have been significantly impacted by the flooding, and to businesses who've also been significantly impacted by the flooding. At this stage, we are not in a position to give precise details of this because we are still assessing the extent and the level of the damage and the potential continuing threat that we face.
He also encouraged citizens to be vigilant and implement the necessary measures to ensure their safety. We are not yet out of the woods.
The effect of this has been significant damage, and it has left many parts of the country vulnerable. Our roads have been impacted, our bridges have been impacted, our sea defenses have been impacted, schools, government facilities, businesses. You heard from Mr. Terence Smith, the General Manager of NAWASA, of the significant damage to NAWASA's infrastructure, and he's made it clear that the damage is in fact more significant than the damage from Hurricane Beryl. While we have not had major reports of damage to the power lines, we still have significant risk to electricity arising from the slides. And in many instances, we have not been able to clear the slides as quickly as we would wish because there is still significant danger from continued sliding of the soil and from trees falling on the power lines. And so in some instances, we have to await Grenelec giving the all clear and having the trees themselves cut first before we can move to clear the landslides. The Met Office has indicated that we are likely to continue to see rainfall throughout the week, including on the weekend. So it is incumbent on all of us to put our safety first. We have to ensure that if we do not need to be on the road, that we don't go on the road. We have to ensure that if we do not need to be in flood-prone or low-lying areas, that we are not there. In some instances, homes have been completely destroyed as a result of the landslides, or in many instances, completely compromised. We are not yet out of the woods. If the weather pattern continues, we expect more damage, and therefore we really do want to urge all our citizens to exercise caution.
Yes, that's a leader. That is a leader that any country would be happy to have. So our beloved Prime Minister there speaking about the damages and the cost for taxpayers. But you know, those on the other side, they complain, they grind and groan, and they also just out there saying, fix it. You could fix it. Fix it. That's all what they're out there saying. You know, it's just sickening. But I'm happy that we have a leader who has vision and who has a heart for people. Who has a heart for people. So that is important. That is very important.
Infrastructure deployed teams across the island on Tuesday to clear impassable roads and erect caution signs following flooding and a landslide caused by persistent overnight and early morning rainfall as a result of a surface trough. Details in this report by Sherry-Ann Noel.
Overnight rain as a result of a surface trough has caused flooding and severe land slippage in parts of Grenada, making some roads impassable. GIS visited some of the heavily impacted areas on Tuesday, starting at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, which recently suffered severe flooding, and observed clogged drains and stagnant water due to blocked outlets. Some parts of River Road were treacherous with silt, blocked drains and pebbles in the road, making it extremely difficult for motorists. From the River Road area, we journeyed to Montrouge, where we met similar flooding at the Camahon Park as well as blocked drains. Our first major roadblock was at Parade, where we met NADMA's Deputy Coordinator, Otto Pear, observing the level of the landslide that took place there.
We do have a lot of slippage, especially in areas with hills and so. We have some slippages in St. David's. I'm actually on the ground now trying to go around to make assessment as to how bad damages are. We have had reports of slippages in Madigra area. We are actually heading up there now to do that, to have a look at it. As it relates to flooding, we have flooding in some of the suspect areas. So you have the Tantine, the Montrouge, the River Road. Both stadiums were underwater around Minister 7 this morning. So we are making the assessment, and we are encouraging persons, don't just go sightseeing. There are a number of persons from Ministry of Infrastructure who are actually going out and trying to clear the roads and to, respond to the issues that we are experiencing.
Due to the frequency of the rainfall, PSA's NADMA has not had the time to properly assess the damage that has occurred to date.
There were some assessments done, but again, the rain continues to fall, so certainly that would exacerbate the problem of flooding and land slippage. We have had more slippage in areas where you would have had landslides before. So, as long as the rain continues, you can expect that to happen.
Our next stop was at Upper Madigra area, where we met Member of Parliament for St. George Northeast, Honorable Ron Redhead, assessing what can be referred to as a massive slide that completely covered the road with mud, trees and boulders.
I think this is one of the largest series of slides that we have seen in the Northeast and Grenada by extension, and it's something that we could not concretely predict. And so we have to deal with responding to it, and the response in some instances will be slow, given the strain with the capacity to be able to respond. But it's a work in progress. I think all in all, I must commend all the utility companies, Grenlec, Nawasa, playing their role and their part, the young people who have been coming out so far in certain areas to be able to clean and assist in community cleanup, the environmental wardens, the crews that we have there, and I must commend some of them because I think they're doing an excellent job in responding along with the government.
Honorable Redhead says some of the assistance to remove the debris came from young men who were trained in the Empower program from a business standpoint.
With chainsaws, weed eaters, blowers and so on. So whenever we need to respond to crises like these, they are there available, ready, willing and able. And so it augurs well in terms of the response. However, this one, particularly this slide in Madigra, is one of the largest slides that I've seen in a long time. And it is a task to be able to deal with. The heavy equipment just arrived, and the expectation is that we're going to take the entire day to clean this mess up. We may have to flatten that surface at the top there and put some stone compaction to be able to prevent further slides. But definitely the response will be tremendous in order to respond to everything in its entirety throughout the country.
MP Redhead also spoke of his visit to the homeowners in the direct path of the landslide.
So I have reached out. In fact, we called earlier on this morning when we learned of his unfortunate situation, and he's employed with the Northeast. In fact, one of the workers, one of the homeowners there, occupants, and it's something that he never expected but is accustomed with mini slides in the particular area. So all in all, I think it was just a case of responding to the situation, and as I said, we have to give God thanks that no lives were lost, but it is a severe land slippage that occurred here in Madigra.
Also at the site was Road Officer Kevin George, who spoke to the Ministry of Infrastructure's commitment to get the job done to allow for the flow of traffic.
The aim is to have this completed by the end of the day. Yeah? I believe that outside would get dark on us, yeah, but we are prepared to clean until we have vehicles traversing this area again. At present, we have an excavator, massive excavator, right behind us. And on the top side of the slide, we also have a bobcat, smaller skid steer, that is dumping some of the debris from the top, right? We have trucks that would take some of the heavier debris down here, the large pieces of tree trunks and so on with the rest of the soil, and cart away from this said area and dump it as far as Perseverance, right? We have many trucks that are with us. The aim is to get it cleared. Also, we have some large boulders that are within the soil. We are presently awaiting the men with the team of drilling and cracking those large boulders so that we can also place them on equipment and have them cut away as we aim to have this road cleared by the end of the day.
Residents of Madigra, Ashton Thomas and Kester Elcock, also spoke with the Government Information Service about the severity of the slide and how it has impacted residents in the area.
Maybe I think about 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard the crackling sound, but I thought it was previously, there's a tree right over here, I thought it was that tree. And then I look outside, but I couldn't see anything. And then about 5, when it started to get a little bright, I look outside and I saw the pole was sliding down. And there's a nutmeg tree right here, and I saw the tree was cracked. So I said to my dad, the nutmeg tree is broken. And I thought it was just a nutmeg tree until like when it's bright, and I saw people speaking on the road, and then I realized now there's so much dirt on the road now. And then I came out and I couldn't see it. When I go over to the other side and there's all the water running down at the bottom there, and there's all the stone, so much stone in the bottom of the land. And when I go over to the side and I realize the whole piece of the land just came down. I've never seen that before. I mean, that much. You know, there's a little slide down the street that happened a couple of days ago, but it's not as big as the massive of this, with all the trees and everything. I've never seen that. And the amount of rain I heard for the last couple of days too.
This morning, most of the villagers came out to see, because, you know, this morning, my wife left and then she said, you can't pass wrong Tekasi because there is a slide. So you're thinking there's something small. And getting here and actually seeing this, it was way beyond my expectation. I mean, we've lived here, people have farmed on that same piece of land that just saw the big slide, and to tell the truth, it's mind-boggling to actually see the extent of, I mean, we know that we've been getting some rain over the days, and accumulation of water in the soil. It's really, really, really mind-boggling.
Elcock also shared the residents' feedback on the visit to one of the homeowners who was not in a position to speak to our crew.
Everyone went to him this morning and actually he counting his blessings, because if you realize, if you take a close look of where the tree fell, a Bakanu tree fell, and it just barely missed the house, a couple of branches went inside of the window, but he can count his blessings that, I mean, the slide happened. He was traumatized by it, and you can actually see from how he's standing, he and his brother and his son, and they're standing there, and it's I mean, to me, I would think I would count my lucky stars to be in a situation like that, but it's a bit to him traumatizing, knowing that what could have happened.
From Madigra, we journeyed to Bay Road, Latande, where another landslide occurred. There we spoke with a very shaken up homeowner who did not want to appear on camera. Her house now stands vulnerable to the elements, and she is hoping for assistance to construct a retaining wall.
To be truthful, I wasn't home Sunday night, but last week Tuesday when the rain was coming, that first piece here went down. And since after that I started getting frightened. And well, when I heard about the weather, I left on a window by my sister around 11 o'clock Sunday. And about 5:30 yesterday morning, my neighbor messaged me and tell me the lawn gone. So then I came up, and then it was kind of shocking, but I said that's God work, so I didn't have a choice. But all I'm trying asking to see if I could get help to put up a wall.
So do you have proper drainage leaving from your home so that you know that your banking is not saturated?
Well, to be truthful, all the water from the spouting come down and go in the drain, because we had put one of them PVC from where the spouting stopped to reach right down in the drain. On the other side, it go down to the back. So, but some water came from on the top side from the neighbor, and it was washing underneath the house. So I had to go outside Tuesday and make a drain so the water could stop go underneath the house. And to my great surprise, yesterday morning when I came, I saw this.
Following our site visits, we captured shots of stacked bamboo on the side of the roads at La Pastora and La Colombe from the recent flooding.
Yes, so thank you very much, Sherry and Noel. That was a good story there indeed. But what is very clear in this story, our people are willing to assist, willing to volunteer, to fix stuff, to better things in their community. You realize that people are not waiting for government to do X or do Y. They're helping, they're coming on board to do things within their community. And that is what you want to see. And the government is on the ball. You realize the MP Ron Redhead, he's out there on the ball. The other side, they're talking. They're good at talking and talking and talking and criticizing and all kind of demands they're making and all kind of stuff. That is what they're accustomed to. The NNP right now, they're in a mess. The convention is sometime in December, and Rail Bacchanal, some people believe that they put some committee in place with all the old loyalists of Keith Mitchell with the hope of keeping one man out because they don't want him to vie for leadership, right? They already sit down and plan, saying this is the person they want to lead. So the Bacchanal within the NNP just that. And you're going to hear more as it gets closer, as they get closer to the convention. Real Bacchanal, real melee. Real melee. Because they just want to keep out one man. But mind you, that same man, they used him, they milk him, they used him to get back in power in 2013. In my belief, they used the guy. They exploit the guy politically. And now they want to spit him out like a plum seed. They want to push him out like a, outcast and no good. But he's putting up a fight. Let's see how it goes. But it seems as though the parry, the plan, the strategy is working out for them because they don't want him to be at the top. So it's a real, it's a real biddy bang, a real bacchanal, a real melee, a real fight. And as I told you, what I want to see is a political bloodbath. Or I want to see these guys and them fighting for leadership, physical, if needs be. And it seems as though that is where we're going to head, in my belief. It's not shaping up to be good at all. At all. It's sad, but that is what you would get when an organization lacks democracy and lacks transparency and lacks accountability, in my belief. All right? That's what you would get. So let's see how it goes. And when I say they lack accountability and lack transparency and lack democracy, I am talking about the way in which they do things, right? The NNP administration, not just the party. We're not focusing just on the party. We're focusing on the administration. When they were in government, we see how they perform, how they do things. It's just off. So the chickens are coming home to roost. Let us see what would happen in the coming weeks and days, days and weeks, because that thing will be melee. That thing will be real bacchanal. All right, Pedro, poor Peter, the pumpkin eater. Oh boy, it's sad, eh? I feel it for Peter. I pity Peter David, And mind you, all his boys and gals, so to speak, quote unquote, who have been backing and, backing him, right? Yeah, they're disappointed. They're shocked. They're in awe. I see a number of them, and they just beat down, so to speak. They bitter, they angry, they upset, because they thought it was a coronation. They thought it was an easy walk in the park for Pedro. Oh, Peter. He's sad, he real sad. They well planned the thing, boy. They well set up the thing. And what would happen, we believe, somebody going to emerge as the leader. Somebody that the guy wants to be there. And then between now and the election, between the convention and the election, the guy going to come back and say, well, we did a poll and the people decided, they still believe that he's the better choice and he's a more popular individual to run as a leader, and they're going to reemerge and run for the leader of the party, because every year they would have convention, and then he would run to become a leader of the country again. We believe that is what would happen. So it's a game. He's playing a good game, a good trick. But boy, I really pity Peter. Poor Peter. Poor Peter. Poor thing. Poor Peter. Poor thing. Watch Mass now. Oh boy, I'm sorry for Peter David, yes? I'm real sorry for Peter David. I pity Peter David. I'm sorry for him, I'm sorry for Peter, boy. Oh God. Peter, Peter, you really have pig stomach. You really have your belly, yes? Poor Peter, poor Peter. Peter, you taking all that? You taking all that, Peter? Nah, boy. I feel sorry for Peter. Ending the program on a sad note. I pity Peter. I'm sorry for the guy. Poor Peter David. Poor Peter. Peter. Boy. Peter, you really have your belly. You have more belly than bully. Poor Peter David. Peter David, boy, they use you. They use you. They use you and all the others to get in power. They get in power with how much seats? 16 or 17 seats. How many seats they got? And look at what they're doing, Peter, now. All you can see what they're doing, Peter David. All you can sorry for him. All you can pity Peter David. Poor Peter. Poor Peter. 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 I'm sorry for Peter David, boy. Poor fella. And not just Peter, starting to cry for Peter David. You see the tears coming off him. Quite down here, so not even here. Poor Peter. Peter, remember what you did to Tillman Thomas? Uncle Tilly? Peter. Boy, Peter. Poor Peter. Poor Peter. What should I do, What should I do, Peter? And all your minions and all your friends and all your comrades, look at how they're looking at you. A weak piece of thing, You're weak. Look at you. You can't even fight back. All the trap they set for you, falling, you're going straight into it. Look at Peter now. All them comrades. Comrades, where are you? Cowards. They see you as a coward. Look at you. Look at you, Peter. Poor Peter. Peter. Poor Peter. Poor Peter. Peter. Look at what they're doing to you now. You see what they're doing to you? They set up a committee with all the loyalists of the Morocco, the old expired corned beef, Popo Black, the old Morocco. Set up a nice committee to push you out, to keep you out. Poor Peter. 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 Poor Peter. Sorry for you, Peter. Pity you, Peter. Look, oh, God. What are you doing, Peter, that for? All you want to make me cry tonight? All you want to make me cry? Oh, God. Poor Peter, David. Peter, boy. What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? They didn't remember how instrumental you were. Huh? Is what you went to Tillman Thomas, in my belief, and the NDC. Huh? You remember all of that? Huh? What Uncle Tilly do you? Peter, what Uncle Tilly do you? Huh? What Uncle Tilly do you? You remember what you do to him? Huh? Nah, boy. Peter. Peter. Poor Peter. Poor Peter. Nah, sir. Nah. Nah. Oh, boy. You see, they put together some 5-man committee. I know all of them. Loyalists of the old Morocco, loyalists of the expired corned beef, loyalists of Popo Black. You understand? Yeah. They go push you out. They go push you out, reapply for the thing and fight now. Fight for it. Poor Peter. Peter David, I'm sorry for you, boy. I'm sorry for you, Peter. I'm sorry for you. And you know, all Peter boys and them comrades, they're the ones that hurt him the most, because they really thought that this thing was on a platter. This thing was on a, on a nice plate, a golden plate, waiting for Peter David. They thought so. A lot of them, see them down by Granan's Craft, Spice and Craft Center down there. You see them congregating. Look at them. Yeah. Not good for all you. A little bad, a little weak. Popo Black, not good for all you. Yeah. Hamlet, oi. Chester, oi. Aligilo. Nasa. The belly hurting me. When is convention again? Yeah, they have some constituency lead. They well set up a thing for me. Oh, God. NASA. Oh, gum. Peter. Nah, boy. Peter, you're making me cry tonight. Why are you doing that to Cam Jones for? Why are you doing that to Cam Jones for? Peter, oh. Peter. Boy. Nah. That is blows, yes? Nah, sir, man. You mad? They well set up the thing. They set it up. You remember? Watch. Oh, God. That blows, yes? That is blows. Peter blows. Blows in your clothes. Peter blows in your clothes. Licks. They thought that the thing was easy. They thought Keith Mitchell could just give the man the thing. You remember Keith Mitchell say, oh, God. Peter. Biggest con men exist on that side of the house. Oh, God. Peter. And that's why we kept saying, Mr. Speaker, we have to unmask those masked men. Mr. Speaker, this is the gentleman, the honorable member for the town of St. George, who, when his own mother-in-law decided to speak the truth and admit that he was a citizen, he launched one of the most vicious attacks ever a mother-in-law has had to face by a son-in-law, Mr. Speaker. He has no conscience at all. Just get between him and power. It could be his mother, his father, his mother-in-law. They will face the pen, Mr. Speaker. That's the character of the individual. Yeah, that was Keith Mitchell. Long, you know. Long. That was Keith Mitchell. Long talking about Peter David, you know. Not now, long. Huh? Oh, God. A gentleman. Peter, boy, you have to stomach? He said they assign him the task, the member for the town of St. George,
he was being assigned the task to keep on top of the Rice Steiner issue, the briefcase issue. Imagine the biggest fraudster has been assigned to deal with the fraud to the Rice Steiner briefcase issue. That's his task. That's why he was speaking today on, and he telling me, I ain't talking about you, Prime Minister. He has been assigned, and he's the one, every time he's on a platform, the NNP is the biggest set of crooks. Imagine who talking about crookedness. Look who talking about crookedness, Mr. Speaker. This is a gentleman who was alleged, Mr. Speaker, right? Besides all the things that he did in New York, that he was, during the time of the revolution, he was behind his father with a gun.
Peter.
But they're spreading the venom. People used to pass me.
That was Keith Mitchell now, Keith Mitchell.
Because they think I'm stealing their money.
Years ago.
I see a member one day walking out to here, Mr. Speaker, and member, and it's always associated with a member for the town of St. George. I am convinced, Mr. Speaker, that there is a mindset in that member for the town of St. George. No matter what you see doing, this mind is doing is a dangerous mind. I believe he has a mind that is twisted, Mr. Speaker, because his friend was the one that nearly ran me down in Granmore.
Peter, but you don't know nothing about that man, you know, Keith Mitchell. You should have asked me. Oh, God. And you think it's only Keita put blows on you? Emlyn too.
That is why today I am deeply hurt. And I am deeply hurt over an incident that took place in the town of St. George about a week ago. And I believe it would be against my conscience if I did not use this platform this afternoon to send a very important message that we ought not to use our desperation as a tool to destroy the young people of this country. About a week ago, brothers and sisters, some young people went out in the town of St. George. And their mission was, among other things, to educate the young people in the town of St. George of the opportunities that are available through this government for their development. One of the programs was the GTEP program, which many of you are familiar with. And they came back on the first day and said to me, Senator Pierre, we are very concerned. And the people of the town of St. George are very concerned about the issue of drugs and alcohol. I am hurt. Because on the second day, when they went out, the second day, they were followed by the representative for the town of St. George, Honorable Peter David. And I would have stood here today and be woman enough to praise Peter David if he had gone out there supporting and encouraging these young people. But I'll tell you what he did. They were in a shop with guys using alcohol, smoking marijuana, and they handed the guys who were there a leaflet which showed the many opportunities that this government is providing, not just for young people, but for the people of this country. And Mr. David walked in. He took away the paper, put it in his pocket, and what did he do to show his love for the young people of the town? He left 2 eighths of rum and a round of beers. Brothers and sisters, that is why I say to you, it is not just about talking youth. It is not just about saying that you love young people. It is about demonstrating your true love for the young people of this country.
Oh boy, Peter, even Emlyn and all this, everybody putting blows on you. Peter, nah boy. You really a belly, yes? You are belly. You really.
That wasn't your words, it's mine. You may take it personally and not realize it was an opportunity to grow. So the next name, somebody who has been speaking up, is Peter David. What role do you see for Peter David in the party moving forward?
Well, Peter and I have had conversation, and one thing you know about me, I don't like to be dishonest about it. I told Peter I'm concerned about things that I'm here. I've told him so, and I've told him also that the question of trust is very important in anything you do. And if you're in a business, I have to be able to trust you. You might have certain skills and so on, and that's an area that's work in progress. It's not there yet.
What can you say may have been the betrayal of trust?
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
What would you say was the betrayal of trust that would have brought about this?
No, I would not go into that. No, that's
all right. I'm not going to go into that. No. Oh, come nah, Peter boy. Naza.
Sisters and brothers who seek to divide our party. Said, I don't believe we must hide anything. We have to talk. Morris hid a lot of things and he faces death. Keith Mitchell ain't going down that road. There are those who seek to divide our party and our country with underhand maneuverings, funding media platforms of individuals to attack and spread propaganda on the NNP and its leadership. I don't know what they're going to do with Keith Mitchell again. They can't leave me alone. Even I'm talking about leaving, but they're still attacking me every night, every morning, every day. They can't leave the man alone. Leave me to rest. Leave me alone. Because what they say, if you play with things with fever, you'll get fever. You remember that story? Sisters and brothers, we are not in this for selfish means for power. I want to sound an alarm today again, sister, but within a new national party. That new national party would not be hijacked by anyone whatsoever. You hear me? This new national party will not be hijacked by anyone whatsoever. I've been around this party for 40 years. And convention coming, we've never gone to people coming and tell me how people coming to them and asking them to pay them money to vote for them in convention. We never had that before. Where this thing come from? Where this thing come from? Where this thing come from? Paying people to come and vote in a convention? Man, God, are you crazy? And you want Keith Mitchell to keep his mouth shut? I go talk. I encourage you, the loyal supporters of this party, to stay focused. Be more inquiring. Question the motives of those who continually attack and push propaganda about the party's leadership. You must question that. When you hear some of them who claim to have been NMP supporters attacking the leadership. If you are NMP sympathizer, how could you be attacking the leadership of the party?
Yes. Nah, boy. Peter, you are belly like Bowley. And you know what I love? I love the fact that the people around him, around Peter, right? Because they really thought that this thing was going to be on a platter, you know. So people around Peter are glad that this thing is happening, and they thought that it would be a walk in the park.
My family are very close friends, my political colleagues. Everybody knows who they are, and it is our view that we should begin our preparations for down the road rather than this elections, and it would be on our best interest to allow the two major parties to continue in these elections, and the result of these elections will determine to a large extent how we go forward. But no, it's just a decision based on what I believe is in my interest and the interest of my colleagues and in the political interest of
But you hold on, Andrew. But you said that you're confident that had you contested, you would have won.
Sure.
But wouldn't it have been important for you to hold on to your place in the parliament?
Not necessarily. I mean, this whole issue that somebody can only make a difference by being in the parliament, that you're only relevant if you're in parliament. Between 2000 and 2003, I was not in parliament, but I was merely effectively the representative of the town of St. George. I still continue to work with the people of the town. I still continue to do service to the town of St. George. And being in parliament, while I agree, it's an important element of your political life. I do not think that not being there will necessarily affect me politically going forward. I will remain on the political landscape. I will remain politically involved. I will remain somebody who speaks on the issues. But for the next couple of years, I certainly will not be in the parliament. But, this is not going to be the last elections, Godfrey. There are many, many more elections to come.
So I have a couple of questions. One, you said for the next couple of years.
A number of people, my family, are very close friends, my political colleagues. Everybody knows who they are, and it is our view that we should begin our preparations for down the road rather than this elections, and it would be on our best interest to allow the two major parties to...
That's Peter, that's Pedro, yeah? That's Pedro, man. Boy, nah. I pity Pedro and I sorry for Peter, boy. Yeah, and the man joined the NNP, remember?
Peter David was one of 10 members ejected from the NDC in 2012 when the party formed the government. The NDC was swept from the parliament in 2013 by the New National Party, and about a year later Peter announced his allegiance to the NNP. The NDC was swept from the parliament in 2013 by the New National Party, and about a year later Peter announced his allegiance to the NNP.
Right, so, yeah, that was... Peter there, that was a bit short. But folks, I am sorry. I pity the guy, I'm sorry. But I pity him because when you look at what they're doing, they're setting this thing up nicely to make sure that he doesn't win, in my belief, to make sure that he doesn't even have a chance of winning, in my belief. But let's wait and see what would happen. It's just sad, really sad. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, God's will.